Hello, everyone. It's Graham with another My Music. I promised you a full day of music interviews today. You've had it. You've had your warm-up acts, and now get ready for the main headlining event. Okay, I'm going to be speaking music with the Sherlocks after this little video from our sponsor. And there we go. Thank you for joining me, sir. Where are you coming from?
Coming from Bolton-on-Dearne, which is, I forgot how many miles it is outside Sheffield. Not a lot, a few miles just outside the main bit of Sheffield.
So you're at home today, a day off.
Day off, mate, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me on your day off. You're busy. You're all busy lads at the moment. With this new album about to come and see us all in August, a tour planned, and a single that's at the moment taking everybody by storm, which is fantastic. Are you pleased with the reception of Sirens?
I'm buzzing, mate. Yeah, it's one of them, to be honest. When you write a tune, we've had some songs where I think they're going to do well, and they go down pretty well, but like, it's just another tune. And then you have some songs where they catch you by surprise. Sirens, to be honest, were a tune, fingers crossed, I were hoping it'd go down well. When we're in studio, we felt it were really strong, which is why we put it out first, to be honest. We thought, this is definitely a strong single from our opinion. And then it's only until you release it and start seeing reaction, that's when you really know. And as you said, it's gone down an absolute storm. I think Spotify have just added it to New Music Friday playlist, and everyone's buzzing with it. So really happy.
It's got a bit of grit to it, isn't it? As a song, I think that's what's captured people. And I, just looking at the guitar scene at the moment, which is brilliant in the UK. I think people are kind of ready. I think people are a little bit angry, actually, in general out there, and I think anything that allows people to let off steam a little bit is good. How did you feel making it?
As you said, angry. No, not so much angry. Just the tune always. I can't remember how the idea. Each song starts with an idea, and I think with this one, I think it was the pre-chorus that came before everything, to be fair. You're not ready for this. Yeah. And then I just started playing with that idea, thinking it'd be good. Very rarely do I do this, but this is a song where I almost based it on how it would sound live when I were writing it. So like I thought that'd be sick to have like that line as a bit of a hook in a chorus. I thought that would be the chorus. Like build a chorus around that, to be honest. Yeah. And it turned into the pre-chorus, and
it's always good, isn't it, when you get that kind of build up, and then there's the drop. It's almost, if you look at it in like house music terms, it's that bit where just before the drop, there's that kind of build to the drop, and that's that bit in this song. There's that kind of build to the drop, and then it's like, and now's the chorus, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think to do that, you've got to. You can't just have it at 10 or even 9 and then like build it to 10, because the impact, you've almost got to drop it down to 4 and then just go boosh, so like dropping bass out and dropping everything out basically, apart from one guitar and drums. And yeah, we had a lot of fun making it, to be honest. And like I said, we were praying that Sirens would go down as well as it is doing, and it's exceeding that, to be honest. Like as soon as we started releasing snippets of the teaser and that, you could tell it were gonna catch fire, and people are just all over it at the minute. So
Now I
Nice
want to
to see.
talk about this as well. I'm going to bring this up on screen so we can all see it. So this is where you can, if you go to the Sherlocks website at the moment, you can pre-order the album, and this is the complete bundle in here. And I have to tell you this, over over the weekend when I was discussing this with a friend. See, when I first saw that on the yellow, I just saw the two people, right? And then it wasn't until I saw it on the black I went, "Oh, that's a hand." I was being a bit slow, all right. But what a fantastic image! And I reckon that could be the T-shirt of the century when that comes out. Who helped you with that design? That's brilliant.
I think Brandon's got to take a lot of credit for it. We sort of like you never really know. I don't think we've ever gone into an album knowing what we even want from the image that's going to represent that bulk of music. But obviously the title's People Like Me and You, so we wanted to try and base it on that. And as a record, to be honest, it's only now it's finished and you can listen to it as like a body of work. It does feel like it's inclusive, and we want to make this record all about the fan. You always do, but this one I feel like we've got a good opportunity to really make it about the fans. We've had us fans singing on that track, People Like Me and You, like loads of fans. We even got what's called Romesh, is it? The comedian. He's on it.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, like we wanted to make it about the fans, and the artwork, it's got to go hand in hand with that. It's got to represent the thing. And I think the only thing that was clear this time around really is we wanted to be a little bit bolder, not just in the music, but like the artwork as well. So we wanted to like keep things minimal and stand out and do some things we've never done, like just even the title downside. And we're constantly trying to just try and tick boxes off where if we've done it before, we're not too interested in like just trying to do it again. And
yeah, does it feel more of a statement to you, this album, than
it just feels super fresh to me?
Yeah.
Like as soon as you see it, it's just like bang, bright yellow, one image to focus on, and then and the music this time round, I think we've ticked a few boxes off. We've sort of like tried to, if it's a banger like Sirens, just aim for that and don't compromise. And then there's like a slower tune on the album, Face the Music. There's honestly there's something for everyone, which again goes back to the title. So I just want to make it about the fans.
I was just talking to another band just before we came on and talked to you today, called Small Talk, who are just starting off on their career. But I was asking Ben from that band about the guitar scene in the UK at the moment. It's tremendous, isn't it? I mean, I think a lot of young bands have never been so excited about the fact that there's this scene that's coming through where everybody seems to be championing each other and really wanting everybody to kind of progress at the same rate. It's, this isn't like the 90s where, Blur were at Oasis's throat and vice versa, etc. There seems to be a genuine love between people for seeing people succeed. Do you feel that?
I think so, yeah. I mean, we've always, if you look back over years, we've always done that anyway, like champion, well, not even champion, but tried like, even the exposure we've got, we're not the biggest band in the world, but we still try and help the bands underneath us, because we always had bands helping us, whether it were like, I don't know, The Enemy. They give us like his first support slot. And yeah, we've always had people help us. So we always said like, once we reach the next stage, we'll try and bring each other up. And you need it. I think everyone's getting a little bit sick of just the music that's at the top at the minute. It's just starting to get a little bit boring. Like, it's nice to have a change, get some guitar bands back in charts.
Do you think people are getting a little bit sick of celebrity as well?
A bit sick of
Celebrity. Yeah.
I don't know. It's all just getting a little bit. I think everybody's getting a bit carried away. Maybe, yeah. It's all just a bit weird these days, I find. Like, you've got people who are famous for being famous, not really doing anything. And then you've just got a lot of, I sound like I'm ranting now, but like, yeah, it's just,
Oh no, don't. My wife rants about it on a regular basis. You know, you watch a TV program and it's like, here are some famous people, and there'll be one or two people that you actually know and that have actually done something. And then, you know, well, this one's famous for this reality TV show and this reality, and it's like, well, you know, what?
It's very diluted. Even with like, I don't know, like even pop music 10 years ago or whatever, at least you had like some standout names like, I don't know, Rihanna and these big artists. At the minute, I can tell you who sings one song to the next.
No, it all sounds the same. Now listen, I'm coming to see you in Bristol.
You coming to see us in Bristol?
I'm coming to see you in Bristol.
Nice one.
Later in the year. What will people expect from this tour? Anything different from previous tours?
Well, you'll have a lot of new
other than this album.
I mean, to be honest with you, we're always striving to get. That is something we're trying to work on all the time, trying to get us live shows sounding as good as we can. And I feel like we're playing well, or we were. We were up until Christmas. We've had a little break since then, but yeah, I feel like the band's playing better than ever. We're in practice room tomorrow, actually. This first proper meet-up after Christmas and New Year. So yeah, we're going to start getting back in rehearsal room, start learning these new tunes, and yeah, people are in for a treat in October, November. We're going to, because it's, to be honest with you, it's the only like proper bulky UK dates we're doing. We might play one or two festivals, but if anybody wants to see us in UK this year, it's on that tour, October, November. It's pretty much, there's like a handful of tickets for most of the dates. Sheffield's literally about to go. So
it seems like a long time away now, doesn't it? October, but I suppose it will soon come round.
It always does, mate. Yeah, like even this third album were only released. This third album were only. It's because I'm always like one or if not going on two albums in front. This third album were released only January last year, and that has absolutely flown. This one's out in August. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today. Really trying to get a bunch of songs ready for next, and then try and get back in studio. I think that's his New Year's resolution. Just trying to be more proactive, constantly get in studio. As soon as we've got songs, record them, and we want to try and keep it a bit of a conveyor belt of musical.
Well,
stuff.
I think that's really good advice for any musician, really, which is to constantly write. You know. I remember watching an interview with Paul Weller and Duffy one time, which was a weird combination. But, you know, he was asked to give Duffy, what piece of advice would you give Duffy as a young artist? And he said, just keep writing. I mean, and Paul Weller is a great example of someone that has just not stopped writing music, you know. And I think it's important because I think people forget at the end of the day, it's an art.
Yeah.
Writing a good song is an art. And if you're not practicing it, it's not going to work, you know. And I think actually that's been the problem with some artists, hasn't it, out there, which is that actually they kind of sat on their laurels a little bit. They've done an album and then they've waited sort of 4.5 years or whatever before the next album comes out or whatever. If you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. And speaking of people who could do that, Weller's at the top of the list who could do that. Like even just from early days in Jam, he could sit back now and still be regarded as like a top class songwriter, but he's done the complete opposite and just kept on. He's like churning out an album a year, 2 albums a year. Is absolutely relentless. But yeah, it's like I say, it's art, and at his age, and he's obviously wealthy. He's not doing it for money. He's same as like Rolling Stones and all these great bands. They're doing it because they love it and they can't help but do it. Like, well, there's no else to do for them, so they might as well just keep writing.
Yeah, no, it's right. In terms of the band, how's the band feeling at this moment? I mean, I'm hearing from you. Are the band feeling closer together than ever before? Are you excited? Do you believe that this album could get to number one? We've just had an independent album get to to number one. Could this album do it for you? I think the spirit's right at the moment for another guitar band to get through.
I think 100%. I mean, I'm biased, so people don't get me, but I think it's his best record yet. To be honest, I feel like with your first album, I said this in another interview. Your first album sort of is what it is. It's like a bunch of songs that you've lived with for a while. Yeah, well, it depends if your band takes off straight away. Like we had on our first album, we had them songs for ages. Like we started in 2010, probably wrote his first song in 2012, 13-ish. Chasing Shadows were like one of the first songs we ever had. And I think that album came out in 2017, I think. So we had them songs for 4 years. Now we'd be lucky to have these songs for 2 years maximum, to be honest. So, do I think it can go number 100%? Like you've just seen it with Ratings. They've got no label, no backing in terms of like these big, massive labels pumping money. They're just a prime example of the fans getting behind what you're doing, which is exactly, we're in the same boat. With our last album, we got a top 10 with that. But it probably would have been higher. But obviously, circumstances with Meatloaf, God rest his soul.
Yeah,
he took a few spots in top 10 that week for us. But we got a comfortable top 10 the last time around. But it depends. It depends what's coming out that week. I mean, if you've got Ed Sheeran, Rihanna, Coldplay, and all big hitters, you're gonna be towing. But I reckon we could get us first number one. If people get behind it.
I'd love to see that happen. I'd really love to see that happen. Do you enjoy the interaction with the fans on social media, etc.? Do you enjoy all of that?
Love it, yeah. To be honest with you, it's like we're at a stage where, like I mentioned, Paul Weller and Rolling Stones and all these people are financially comfortable doing it for the pure love. We're doing it for the pure love, but we've still got a massive hunger, a massive fire in his bellies to like get to where they are. So we're just enjoying it. Like we're doing it for different reasons. We're doing it because we need to do it, but we also love doing it. So that I feel like that pressure, we're not playing at it, if you know what I mean. We take it serious. Like every song we put forward or put out and stick on an album, we can't afford to just have a bad album where there's a lead single, but rest of the album's just a bag of balls. Like the album needs to be its best stuff, which is what we've done every album, but this one especially, we really like filtered down what we're putting on it and not stuck too many tracks on it. I think there's 10 tracks and a couple of interludes and stuff like that. But yeah, we're taking it serious.
I was talking in the previous interview about the cost of going to gigs now. Some gigs are utterly ridiculous in terms of money. You could actually go to Ibiza for a week or whatever for the price of going to some of these superstar gigs. You're still touring at what is a reasonable price, etc. You could literally go and see your whole tour and still have change for one ticket at some of these silly price gigs. Do you think that in a way that's part of the opportunity as well? People on the streets haven't got so much money these days. Why not check out some fresh music and actually come away with your new favorite band?
Yeah, it is getting silly, to be honest. I booked a couple of gigs last year, and they were slightly more than I thought, but I don't know. It's one of them, and it's like where does it stop if tickets keep on going up and up just because they can? I mean, you've seen some people, Paul Eaton, for example. I saw a little clip with him where he's done the opposite. He's capped his tickets because he knows it's just getting silly. Like, I mean,
I actually like Paul I like Paul Heaton's philosophy on that. He actually puts drinks behind the bar for people that go to some of his gigs, which I think is brilliant. You know,
but like I say, there's plenty of good bands out there where you're paying a fraction. You might pay 20 quid, say if it's an O2 Academy show. I mean, for me, gigs can get too big as well, personally. I mean, if I were on stage, it don't really matter. Like, I want to play the biggest gigs possible. But like, I went to an arena gig last year, and it were almost a bit too. There is something special about these 2,500 sort of cap venues, up from 1.5 to 2.5, 3,000, where
you feel you can actually see people in the crowd that you've recognised from conversations or whatever, and you know, you're maintaining family as it were. Yeah,
it's like I don't know. It's down to your preference, I suppose. I watched Jamie T last. He's not somebody who wore an expensive ticket, by the way. But yeah, watched Jamie T at Victoria Warehouse last year, back end of last year. That was one of the best gigs I've been to. I think it was like 3,000 cap. I think we played it before back like a few years back. And that's a prime example of like a big room holds a good amount of people, but it still felt intimate and like I said, one of the best gigs I've been to. Like, you could see all the crowd, and it was just a good vibe. It weren't too big.
Well, I think what's quite interesting is that we're actually seeing some new venues of that kind of size open. You know, recently I've seen like the fire station up in Sunderland. That's opened up as a gig venue. You know, I think, you know, the kind of venue that people are looking for is that kind of, you know, small to mid-sized venue, which has got that kind of feel to it. It's not too expensive to go to. You can go out on a regular basis. You can see a mixture of music, because actually that's what people are listening to now. You know, I think more than ever before, people are listening to variation, you know, whereas once upon a time, it was like, oh, I was into that kind of music. I dressed that particular way.
Yeah.
You've probably got people that come to your gigs that also listen to, I don't know, something completely different, you know, and that's absolutely fine, isn't it? I mean, you don't care about that. What you care about is that whilst they're there, they enjoy your music.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I can remember talking to my dad a few months back, and he were on about, like you just said, I think when he was slightly younger and just like doing music scene a bit more, it was much more black and white. Like, this is punk, this is like ska or whatever. Or, do you know what I mean? Like, genres, that were it. Whereas now you get like subgenre, fusion, a fusion of different stuff, which is sound. Like, there's gonna be people who watch our band who are watching other bands, and it all feeds into each other, I think. So long as people are coming, having a good time.
We've got someone that's just tuned in from Canada. There you go. Well, you know, if anyone promoter wants to get these guys over to Canada, they'd be more than happy to fly over to Toronto or somewhere like that for a gig. Toronto's meant to be brilliant for gigs, by the way.
Yeah, we played it a few years back, actually. We played
Did you?
Toronto and, is it Montreal?
Yeah, Montreal. Yeah.
Yeah, we did that just at the end or the start of this big US tour. I literally played every single place in US pretty much.
Crazy, isn't it? My friend.
I think we were there for like a month, driving like 8 hours a day from one place to the next. Next place tour I think we've been on.
Well, it makes you realise how small somewhere like the UK is when you get to America. You know,
literally,
it's suddenly it's like, well, driving from one state to another is the same as driving the whole length of this country, and it's like, well, you know, incredibly frightening. Listen, I thank you so much for doing this, giving up your time today.
No, enjoy chatting to you.
I hope that, you know, get to say hello when you come to Bristol. Yeah. I will be there at the front, so I'll make sure of it, and I'll make sure I come and say hello. But if people haven't checked out your music, which I can't believe that if they haven't, but the best place to go is Sherlocks have got their own website. Do go there, and at the moment you can pre-order the album. Do it, pre-order it. There's a T-shirt on offer as well. There's different versions of the album, even a picture disc version of the album as well, which is tremendous. So and I think you can get a bonus CD as well, and the whole lot signed. So look, go and fill your boots. Buy it for someone else for Christmas as an early Christmas present, and then everybody will be happy. And let's get that album to number 1. Kiaran, my friend, thanks so much for joining me today.
No, cheers, buddy. Enjoy it.
And I'll come and I'll see you soon when you get on the road. This has been my music with a whole day's worth of music today. Thanks to Kiaran from the Sherlocks. Check their music out. Bye for now.